Today, there is a lot of cultural heritage online on large repositories such as Europeana and Media Commons. So, is this being sufficiently reused or not?
Well, I would say no. I would really say no. I think people surf, but whether they really use it as they should, I doubt so.
And how do you think then it could be more used?
Well, I think there is no problem with the first use and where the individual use, where you are browsing in these catalogs or using Google to find information. But what we need is a real creative reuse, where you build something of your own with these materials. And this is truly lacking. While I think that the computer facilitates this, and maybe people are not sufficiently aware of that.
And how do you think it can be
well, the main thing that you can do with digitized material, with these images and texts that you find online, is to remix them to make your own content. And this way you can contribute also on what is online. So I think you always have to, in fact you are a curator of your own exhibition when you are looking for nice pictures in Europeana of European heritage. It's you that makes the selection. And in fact, we should think more about how can we make use of this curatorship that is in every one of us, and how can we capture the stories that the user wants to tell.
Okay, so for example, as a student or as a teacher, is it possible to have this kind of creative reuse?
Well, yeah, and certainly when I think back about the history books that I got in class now 30 years ago, they told a very specific story of Europe, which is now really outdated. Everything that was behind the Iron Curtain was invisible to us. It was a great red blob on the map. It was the USSR and its satellites, and we knew nothing. I think I even didn't realize that there was something like the Baltic Sea. So what we did, for example, in delivering images to Europeana, and we delivered about 500,000 of photos of photography, is we went for all these collections of Central and Eastern Europe. And so I'm confident that what you find in Europeana is much broader than what you find in today's school books on history. And so a teacher that knows how to work with a PC, that is skilled in searching for images on things like Europeana, can put together a new storyline for his students. And this will be really innovative, where you can show images from life in Eastern European cities in the early 19th century, and you find magnificent collections there.
And what about professionals in the glam sector?
Well, yeah, I think you have the students and the teachers and the general public, who are the end users of Europeana. But more important is, Europeana is the tool for the glam sector. It is meant by the European Commission as being the toolkit of all our museums and archives to communicate with the public, and they should do so. And so we encourage these institutions and the professionals working there to look how these repositories can help them bring out their collections, show collections to people, build virtual collections that are maybe dispersed over several museums and sites, and make one storyline out of this. In Europeana space, we built some tools that you could use to do that. Tools, documentation, even APIs that you could integrate with your museum systems, with your archive systems, so that you can open up your collections to a broader reuse.
It sounds like there is also need for some technical skills. So is there also a space for developers, for example?
Yeah, and it's there that we are really hoping that a lot of innovation will take place. There are a lot of creative people, software designers, developers that make these brilliant apps, easy to use interfaces on your smartphone, and that bring culture everywhere, so that you're a tourist in a city, you are looking through your phone and you see a photo on how it was 30 years ago or so. These apps exist. And in this module we want to show developers what kind of tools are there for them that they could integrate in their apps, and then make mashups with map software, with existing other applications, to really give these users a totally novel contact with cultural heritage in Europe. And this is something that the GLAM sector in itself can't do, that the content owners also are not well equipped to produce, but that young software developers can come up with nice ideas, and they should try it out.
So how is this module going to help with understanding how to become creative?
Yeah, I think we will show examples, first of all, to students and teachers, how they can create their own stories. We made a special web environment where you can do so you can search for content on Europeana, you can mix it with your own content, your own photos, and you can tell a story and save that story and share it with others. So you log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account, you start writing a story, you get the images from trusted sources, and you put it online and share it. And this can be inspiring also to the professionals. They can see, hey, these are the stories that teachers are making, and this means that they can think about, maybe we have interesting collections that can feed these kind of stories. And for a developer, it also can trigger storylines, scenarios that might be reflected in cell phone apps or smartphone apps that they want to develop. And so I think you will find on 3 levels some information in this module. It's not a very large module, but you will find some introductory information just to get everyone to become creative. So this first part is, I think, really targeting almost everyone who wants to become a more creative user of the internet with European culture. And then we will gradually expand, have some information for GLAM professionals, have some information for developers. But it's not with, there are no walls in between. It's just one module. You can have a sneak peek in what is meant for the others also. That could be an interesting experience.